I like Ninjago mechs, so you could assume I was pretty fucking hyped when they basically made the whole wave mech based. And they have a cool gimmick? Sign me the fuck up. This video is about the only one who likes the gimmick that isn't Junior's, Jay's Mech Battle Pack. Don't worry, I will talk about the other mechs at a future point. I just want to get them all at once, and that's like, you know, budgetary infeasible right now, so sorry. So let's not stretch the intro out and let's get into the review. So here's the set. I will start with the minifigures and then I will get onto the actual mech, and afterwards we will discuss why it should have probably been a villain mech instead. Here's the Master Lloyd figure. He uses the headband hairpiece for Lloyd that was introduced in the Island Wave, if I recall correctly. I really haven't kept Ninjago like in those years, so sorry if I got it wrong. And that headpiece is honestly one of the only few uses on Lloyd of the brighter green that he recently started using. Otherwise, the only piece of green he has is like a red, it's like a more dark print on his torso robe outline, which I don't really mind. It's like, yeah, it's Master Lloyd, so a mostly white robe with the green just being an accent color to make it clear that it's a Lloyd specific robe and not just a general Master Sensei robe makes sense. He also comes with the sword that was introduced for him in the Ninjago movie, which is a pretty good sword. And the back print has a really nice dragon design in gold and dark green. And it's a really sick design, I'm not gonna lie. Here's this old face print. Here's the two backgrounds itself. On the left we have the Wolf Mask Claw Warrior, and on the right we have the Wolf Mask Guard. Both of them have the same leg and torso print. The only difference is the helmet / hood piece they have, the weapon they have, and the fact that the Claw Warrior has a shoulder armor piece. They share the same face print, was just covered up by the Claw Warrior's dual molded mask piece, and the head itself has two different expression prints. One is like unpowered, one is powered up, and the only difference is the eyes glowing and the teeth glowing. Honestly, that's like, I don't mind, it's the villain's just angry face, so them just getting a powered up face at all is honestly good enough in my opinion. The Claw Warrior obviously comes with claws, which are the Wolverine claw pieces simply, and the guard has a dark metallic crossbow. If we look at the back, that we can see the printing isn't that complex, it's just faction symbol, I guess. But what I really like is the wolf mask dual printing being done in such a way that the back of the head has some of the like azure color instead of the dark blue. Since like the front only has the azure for like the teeth and eyes. Here's the next pilot himself, Jay. The new ninja suit is very much like a mech pilot suit with like light armor, which like makes sense for the wave being like very mech focused. I really like the design. It's very light fit, which makes sense since like mech pilots usually just have like skin tight or close to skin tight suits and nothing like too extra. So it makes sense that they don't have any shoulder pads or stuff except for the mask. And we like the print. The small like outlining of gold on out of the armor plating is really nice, as well as the dark blue area having like small lighter blue stripes across it. The weapons he comes with are just two basic gold swords. Honestly, I wish it would have nunchucks. His mask is dual printed in light and dark blue. Looking that the back design is really detailed but not complex, it's just more of the armor plating that we saw in the front. There's also some Ninjago on there. I'm not going to translate this, but I assume it's Jay. And his head does the same thing from last year, where one side is just a normal face and one side is with the visor. And here's the actual mech. He has two different weapons. On his left hand he has a dual stud shooter, which I won't really demonstrate because I don't want to lose the pieces. And on the right hand he has a star spear type weapon, which uses one of the more recent blade pieces, and has a small dagger bit like Lloyd's sword. The articulation isn't anything special, just 2 points per limb and a waist swivel, which I really like just because that makes posing honestly a bit more dynamic. I have a small grievance though, and it's just the way the lower arm is attached to the upper arm makes it so you kinda can't bend it that much without twisting it, which like isn't that big of a deal for the cannon arm obviously, but once we get to this, that can kinda be annoying. It's not a deal breaker. I mean, it's a fucking €10 sale with a lot of minifigures. Like, I don't have high standards for it, but like, come on, you know? Like, I get why you did, it's just practicality, but yeah. I really like the printing on his chest for like this dragon symbol he has. and otherwise the mech is kind of stumpy, honestly. This is because the arms and legs are just mixer joints instead of being the big pre-bent pieces that the mechs usually use now. I presume it's just like a budget thing just so they could fit more minifigures in it, since the set is really a battle pack, which, like, yeah, I understand, but it makes the mech looks kinda goofy, honestly. A small thing I really appreciate is the sword storage in the back, but it kinda makes me question something. The way this storage is done, they could have just given them nunchucks. Like, come on. Anyhow, here's compared to a standard Marvel mech, which is a pretty good scale for comparison for small mechs. So my closing thought, this is a pretty decent set, mostly just for the minifigure's sake, even though the mech is like alright. But this video has a discussion segment because honestly, this would have been so much fucking better if this mech was just for the villains instead of for Jay. And I will explain that right now. So, this set is a battle pack, right? Well, what are battle packs for? Army building. And you know what would be useful for army building? If the vehicle in this set is something that has a lot of copies of itself. You know what probably doesn't have a lot of copies of itself? A mech for one of the ninja. Because of how I'm seeing this set would have been far better if the mech was made for the villains, the War Warriors. That way, if you bought models of the set, you would have multiple small vehicles to use in your War Warrior army. Sure, you still would have had out of excess Lloyds and Jays, but like, that isn't that uncommon in battle packs, sadly. It still would have been far better because the way it is right now, it isn't really good for army building, since like over 30% of the stuff isn't army buildable, and we just get 2 guys that are army buildable, which are also really common in all the sets in the wave, you know? Yeah, that's all I got to say, honestly. See ya!